Hey fam, hey, happy Sunday if I get this message out today. If not, happy day, right? Just happy day. But first and foremost, I will be a part of the Black Readers Appreciation Day. That's an event where you can read a ton of books from different Black authors, and you can read them for free. It's November 1st through the 4th, but I'll be featured on November 1st. So you'll be able to, don't worry, I'll send a reminder on November 1st, but you'll be able to read my first novel, Computer Love. It is cold. For free. You can download the ebook for free on Amazon on that day. This will be a re-release. I've added some things, some chapters, and went through. So yes, join in on that. And you might as well get both books, Computer Love and Is This Love, because you're going to love the first one and you're going to want to read the second one. Second thing is, since being in Brooklyn, you know, because Brooklyn is so different than other parts of New York, right? I feel like every borough could say that, but this is the most time I've spent here, and I've had a lot of like just self-realizations and beautiful reminders and just moments of like, aha, like, wow, you know, it's put my journey thus far into perspective for me. And one thing I've noticed is that I've unintentionally placed myself on a hiatus, a creative hiatus. And for someone like myself, that is like the worst hiatus to take, because I'm a very creative individual. That is my outlet. It's how I express. It's how I transmute. It's how I alchemize like negativity, any feelings of self-doubt, all of that. I do that through my creative abilities, and I have many forms of creative expression. And I remember being at the library at Brooklyn Library, and I was logging in. When you sign into their Wi-Fi, you always have to go to this page, and they'll have their events that they're doing. So I was like, let me check out the events. There was a creative writing circle being held that day. Now, I hold writing workshops and circles all the time. So I was like, oh, let me go take one just to brush up. It's been a while. Had no idea that what I was walking into, right? I get there, and there's this round table. We're in like the trustees room on the 3rd floor, so you get this nice view of skyscrapers, just a beautiful view. And we're sitting, and the guy comes and he just explains a rundown of what the circle is about. You will be given prompts. So that particular day we were given 2 prompts, and there was a guest person there who did a prompt. So the prompt can either be a clip of music, a poetry read, a quote, anything, right? Like they'll just throw you anything for a prompt. So our first prompt was a quote from the guest person, right? And after you get the prompt, they'll set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes. The first prompt had 15 minutes for you to write. Just write whatever comes to you from that prompt. And you share, you can share. Like there's not a mandatory thing for sharing, but you can share if you want to share what you've written, and then everyone has the freedom to give feedback, only positive critique, and they have to kind of separate you from your work. So if you wrote about a person, it's like, I like the piece spoke to me because of this, not your piece spoke to me because of XYZ, right? So you're just giving positive feedback to what the person wrote. So my first one, I was like, I was too nervous to read it out loud. Like I wanted to fill the room. And baby, when I tell you these people were good, right? Like there were other authors there. The person who was moderating the group is an author himself, and he writes for the New York Times. And he's moderating this group, and other people just are reading their pieces. And I'm like, what? Within 10 minutes, people were writing like chapters to books and were read it in like animation. It was beautiful. So then the second prompt comes around, and I write, and I was like, you know what, Eb? You gotta read. Like I remember being in another space where it was poets, and I didn't see myself as a poet, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna read, they all dope, like I don't deserve to be here, and I didn't read. And I said, this will not be another time that you won't read. And this particular round, the second round, we only had time for 2 prompts, and I think we were there for maybe 2 or 3 hours. The second prompt, you read, and that's it. Everybody just shares, and there's no feedback given whatsoever. So I read. And while I was reading, I was so nervous, y'all. Like I was shaking and everything, and I was talking to myself. It was a lot happening, right? Like I'm talking to myself and I'm reading. I'm like, you could do this, Ed. We got this. Keep reading. It's something about like having all eyes on you, right? Like as I'm reading, I could feel the attention coming in like even stronger. Like people were resonating with the words I was saying, and that was making me even more nervous. Like thinking when you're performing on a stage, it's nice when like the lights are off so you can't see the people, but like we were there. So I'm gonna read what I wrote. I shared this on my blog like a week or 2 ago, and if you don't know my blog, I will share that here as well. But The prompt was a poem. So he read this poem and then he ended it with saying that write about October, write about the fall season. It could be anything about that, right? So mine's is, I'm still here. I thought I'd be gone. I asked months ago to leave. In fact, I begged not to come. I tried holding on to everything I could grab to stay. Even held on to the door of the taxi as the driver drove away. I end up at the airport asking for a ticket to JFK, thinking it would be a month's stay. But since, the months have ticked away. It's already October. The leaves seem to be leaving before me, leaving me with nothing to cling to, nothing left to give me comfort, finding it hard to find comfort. But that was your plan after all, forcing me in a space of discomfort, forcing me into places and spaces I no longer find comfort, forcing me to change like the seasons, forcing me to fall, forcing me to be something different. That's it, y'all. That was my little creative writing prompt from, my creative writing piece from the prompt that was given. And after I finished, like even the moderator, the guy was just like, you know, you get that, like that deep resonance of what it was. And when people came up to me afterwards and was like, wow, we couldn't get feedback this round, but your piece, like I felt it. I felt like what you were going through in it. They really enjoyed it. Like people got my email afterwards. It was really nice for my piece to be received and just to be in a company of other creatives and to express. So you may be experiencing some blockages in your life or just figuring out like what's to do next, or are you on the right path? Are you doing the right things? And I'm sure you are. And another way to just get that energy out and to release is do something creative. It could be writing. What you seek is seeking you, right? So just look. Sometimes maybe you need to do is just open your phone or go on Google, and the Most High will find a way to send you what it is and give you like an inkling of what it is you need to be doing or something for you. So paint, draw, write. Maybe one day I'll host some speed writing, like creative writing circles. But yes. Just wanted to share. Hopefully that inspires or adds to somebody's day. Love and light. And don't forget, November 1st, Black Readers Appreciation. You can get my ebook, Computer Love. Love and light.